Okay, cool. So we will get started anyway. So yeah, so today is really about, as it says, they're mastering your health, fitness, and lifestyle goals in 2024. And I suppose the reason I put this together is really to kind of give you a bit more broadening your mindset about what you've kind of gone through over the last year, plus now as well thinking about what it is that you want to be able to achieve, and as well actually getting you to actually write down specific things based on different elements of health, fitness, and your overall lifestyle of things that you would like to kind of work towards. So the first part really is going to be about reflecting on your previous year. So I suppose asking yourself, like, this time last year, what were kind of the commitments you said you would make towards yourself? And in looking at that, like, did you kind of set yourself some goals? How has that gone for you? Um, what, I suppose, what were the barrier, if you did actually set some goals, you started to work towards them, what were the barriers that got in the way? Or did you actually manage to follow through on those goals? So also as well asking yourself, how different does your life look like right now compared to 12 months ago? And I suppose by just kind of reflecting on the previous year, it kind of opens up your mindset a bit more to about what you can achieve, and also as well about trying to lay a path ahead for what it is that you actually want to achieve in the coming, say, 12 months. Um, so that's the first thing I want you to kind of write down, is asking yourself, okay, if you wrote some goals, did you actually follow through with them? So it's probably just a yes or no. And if not, why not? So again, like anybody that's kind of watching the recording of this as well, they can also just kind of hit pause when we come to the questions and stuff like that, to give yourself a bit more time to actually kind of reflect on that previous 12 months. And also as well, reflecting on the previous 12 months, it kind of, I suppose, sets you up for what you know you can achieve in the coming months ahead. So to dive into it, what we're going to do is we're going to ask you is, what are the top 5 goals you want to achieve in 2024? And when you're kind of thinking about this, it's not just about, right, I want to lose weight or I want to look a certain way. So what I want to do is I want to break it up into kind of different areas. So there'll be areas of fitness, health, family, career, say personal life, and asking yourself, like, what are the top 5 goals you want to be able to achieve in looking at all those different areas. And what we're going to do is, well, we're going to dive into each of the areas. And again, we're going to try and get you kind of to set goals in around each of the areas. So you don't have to kind of dive into it too much about setting your 5 goals right now, because we're going to break it down a bit more. And before even answering the questions, what you want to ask yourself is, if you could remove all the barriers that are holding you back, who would you become and what could you achieve? So let's just think, if you were to become your own superhero, like, what are the things that you could put in place? And also as well, kind of trying to write down goals for yourself that, I suppose, kind of scare you, that kind of, and when I mean scare you, I mean that it kind of gets you thinking that it's going to push you outside your comfort zone. Because obviously, if it's things outside your comfort zone, means that you're going to have to grow more as a person to actually be able to step into, I suppose, your superhero self shoes. So I think this can be kind of like a really powerful exercise, that, and trying to think as well, like, on a much deeper level. So again, like I was saying a minute ago, it's not just about saying, right, I just want to lose a bit of weight, but really asking yourself who you want to become. And then it's just about trying to lay the path then to figure out what actually needs to happen in order to achieve those things. So what we'll do is we'll start off with the first one, and just ask yourself, what are your fitness goals? So everybody has their own kind of individual goals, so it's kind of completely up to you what it is you want. So when thinking about your goals, ask yourself, like, how do you want to look? How do you want to feel? How do you want to see yourself in the mirror? And if weight loss is something that's important to you, or even dropping body fat, ask yourself, okay, what weight do you want to be, or what percent body fat do you want to be? Even questions around, how strong do you want to feel or be? Ask yourself, okay, do you have any kind of specific fitness goals, as in, you want to be able to run 10K, run a half marathon, swim a certain distance, try something completely different, like over the last was it 6, 7 months or so, I've been taking up a lot of jujitsu. So that for me, that was putting myself outside my comfort zone, trying something completely different. Or asking yourself, like, is there any kind of other sport you would like to have a go at? Like a mountain, do a triathlon. So whatever it is, it's just about asking yourself, what is something that you may have thought about in the past, but may have even said to yourself, do you know what? I don't even know if I could do that. And that if you kind of say that to yourself, then again, that's going to be something that will kind of push you outside your comfort zone to try. So, but if you do have an interest in something, this is where I want you to write that down. So really kind of ask yourself that question now, what are your fitness goals? So, and once you've kind of finished that, what we'll do is we're going to move on to the next part. So the next one now is your health goals. So when we kind of think about our health goals, asking yourself, in what way do you want to improve on your health? So whether it's going to be, right, I want to feel more energized, I want to improve, I suppose, my energy levels, I want to improve on my sleep quality. And when we're kind of looking at this, a lot of times it can reflect back to your diet, your stress levels, how you manage stress, asking yourself as well, like, how do you want to feel? How do you want to show up on a daily basis? And also as well, kind of looking at other sides of health, like personal development, working on yourself, working on your own happiness, and asking yourselves, if you want to improve on each of those areas, what is it that you need to be doing? So that's where you kind of really want to look at a much broader aspect when you kind of think of the word health, and asking yourself, okay, what is it that you want to do to improve on your health? Again, if you're watching back on the replay of this, hit this pause button, take your time, and really kind of think about these things. Because the more time you put into them, obviously, the more things you're going to start coming up with. And it's going to broaden your thinking around what it is that you truly want to achieve in this coming year. Right, then, so moving on to the next one. And the next one is your family goals. So again, thinking like things like, how do you want to show up for your family? How do you want your family to see you? What kind of, I suppose, fun adventures would you like to do this year with your family? What else can you do to be, I suppose, an inspiration for your family? And then even asking yourself, what can you do to encourage your family to improve on their health, on their fitness, on their wellness, on their lifestyle, all these kind of things. So again, asking yourself, like, what kind of more activities could you do together? What kind of things could you start introducing to your family, whether it's going, right, we're going to have smoothies every so often. So again, just asking yourself that question, if you have kids and stuff like that as well, obviously going, right, what can I do to encourage better eating in their lifestyles, or getting them to move a bit more, or making better choices or whatever. So this is, and again, as like I said as well, it's about asking yourself what kind of fun things you'd like to be able to do, and or what trips you'd like to do, or adventures you'd like to do, whether it's hiking a mountain or going swimming or certain holidays or whatever it may be. So again, kind of really take your time on this one again and ask yourself that question, what are your family goals? Cool. Then next one, moving on from here, and this time it's your career goals. So the first thing you need to ask yourself is what you do right now, and even reflecting on the last year in your job, is it fulfilling for you? Like, is it something that you're truly happy with? And if not, then it's about asking yourself, okay, cool, what kind of changes could you make to either improve on what you're doing right now, or even looking into doing something different? And like when you're looking at this as well, you got to look at, I suppose, the last 12 months and asking yourself, was it truly fulfilling for you? Was it something that you're really happy doing? And is it something you really want to kind of see yourself doing for the next 12 months again? And if there is kind of certain areas you do want to improve on, whether it's in what you're doing right now, or doing something different, or doing something on the side, it's about asking yourself, what are the steps that you can make right now in order to progress to where you want to be, if that's obviously something you want to do. And like even asking yourself the question, like, what is it you need to learn? Is there new kind of skills you need to learn? Is there certain courses you need to do? Or is it more just pushing yourself outside your comfort zone to try something different and take that leap of faith and do something different if that's something that you do want to do? So again, with the career goals, it's all about kind of reflecting on the last year and asking yourself, is that what you want to be doing for the next year? Or is there kind of any changes that you feel you would like to make? Now, the next one is looking at personal and life goals. So asking yourself, how do you want your life to look in the next 12 months from now? And perhaps you don't want to change anything at all, and that's perfectly fine. But again, reflecting on the last year and asking yourself how you started last year. Did you set some goals in place? Did you say, do you know what, this time next year, I want to achieve X, Y, Z? And if you did kind of say that to yourself, asking yourself, right, did you actually take the steps necessary in order to be able to achieve those things? And if not, then now is the opportunity to actually be able to do something like that, to be able to kind of set a foundation in place, to be able to map out what it is that you truly want, and start to write down specific things that you know will help you progress and move forward. So asking yourself, who do you want to be in the next 12 months? How do you want to look? How do you want to feel? And even like if you create a list of 5 things that you could even add to a bucket list. Even things as well that you feel that are unachievable for you, still write them down. Because when you start writing stuff down that sometimes you may not even believe that you could achieve them, that automatically it'll start to set a bit of motion and play in your subconscious about trying to map out of what you need to do or what actions you need to take in order to be able to do those things or achieve those things. So again, take your time on this one, really asking yourself what it is that you would love to be able to achieve moving forward and from here in your own personal life. So once you've kind of taken the time and you've gone through those different areas and you've written down some stuff, then obviously the next part to this is, and this again is going to be something that you're going to take your time with, and it's going to be reflecting on each of the goals that you've written down and asking yourself, what would the potential challenges be, or what will the barriers be that may pop up that could stop you from achieving all the things that you've written down? So whether it's something like motivation, self-doubt, work, family, bad habits, not seeing results, because when we start, I suppose, to make ourselves aware of the potential barriers, when we do face these barriers, it's much easier then to actually overcome them and move forward. So that's the kind of whole reasoning behind of writing down these things. And with writing down the challenges as well that may come up for each of the goals that you have, try and make a list of even say 3 to 5 potential challenges, so that you know then that, okay, cool, if these challenges come up, then at least you're going to be aware and you're going to be ready for them. And once then you've written down the potential challenges, it's about asking yourself for each of them, going, okay, what will I need to do if I do come across these challenges? So now you're trying to come up with a solution straight away right now in order to be able to overcome the challenges if they do arise. So for example, if you'd written down for, suppose, some fitness goal that you want to run a marathon, and one of the challenges might be, right, it's going to be lashing rain all the time, it's going to be freezing cold, I'm not sure if we're going to get out. Well, if that's going to be a challenge for you, then one of the solutions can be, right, I'm going to make sure I go in and run on a treadmill in a gym or something. So again, this is kind of really tailored towards you, and it's really getting you to kind of think about your own personal situation, your own personal goals, and your own personal things that you want to be able to achieve. And also as well, even if you reflect on back that if you set these goals before, asking yourself, okay, why didn't I achieve them in the past? Or if I did start working towards them, what was it that got in the way, or what kind of suppose, derailed me from actually achieving what it is that I want to be able to achieve. And then, like, even if you did set goals in the past and you did achieve them, then it's about asking yourself, okay, cool, what was it that you did well? What are the learnings you can take away from them that can help you next time when you're working towards these new goals? So again, this is something that you kind of take your time with. Again, if you're someone watching back on the replay, you can hit the pause and just take your time working on it and give yourself as much time as you need to. Also, as well, if this is something that you can jump back on in a while and just kind of reflect on each of the goals, reflect on each of the challenges, and then kind of reflect on each of the solutions for yourself, and really kind of work out what needs to happen or what needs to be put in place. And even as well, like, what support do you need in order to help you achieve those goals? So again, like, that's what I'm going to be there for anyways, to help you move forward in a lot of these goals as well. So if there's challenges that you feel you're going to come up against or whatever, then we can kind of even sit down one-to-one and we can try and map out specific paths we need to take in order to get you to where you want to be. So then, I suppose, just to kind of summarize then on kind of what we've gone through there. So it's like, you have the ability to achieve all you want once you're 100% committed to make it happen. And so it doesn't matter what it is you want to be able to achieve. It's just really down to you to say, you know what, I'm going to go for it, and I'm actually going to do whatever it takes to achieve it. And because you can achieve anything you really want, all it comes down to is asking yourself the right questions. What it is I need to learn? What are the challenges going to come in my way? How am I going to overcome them? How do I keep making those steps to keep me moving forward? And the next part then, about stepping into your own superhero self and asking, what would they do? So if you'd no barriers, if you'd nothing holding you back, what are the steps that your superhero self would take? Or what are the goals that they would set if you were able to step into that person? And then, of course, it comes down to planning out your days, your weeks, your months, and then just getting to work. Because at the end of the day, it's all good writing stuff down, but unless you're actually willing to take action on what you write down, then it's never going to start playing out for you. And remember as well, barriers will always arrive, but once you are prepared, it's much easier then to overcome them. And so that's it. It's really about just making 2024 incredible and doing what it is that you want to be able to do, and really, I suppose, helping you map out all the different things you would like to be able to achieve, no matter how big or small they are, and then just working towards making them happen. So that's it. So that's the end of our goal setting session. So hopefully you got something from it, and hopefully you got some goals written down. And yeah, if you want to share them with me, please feel free to do so. But if not, thank you very much for jumping on.
And I just want to say thank you, Stephen.